What's happening? This is BoneSickle, and in this video I'm going to try to show and describe how to get the 4 trophies in Hotline Miami that require using weapons. The trophies are Knife for Pros, for using all melee weapons at least once, Pitcher for using all throwing weapons at least once, Guns for Show for using all guns at least once, and Always on Top for performing every ground kill in the game. In this video I'm going to show you the locations of the weapons that do not spawn, and then I'm going to show you a really easy method of using all of the weapons that do spawn randomly. Now in the description of this video I've included a link to a checklist that I made of every weapon in the game that is possible to miss, so you can print the checklist and keep track of what you've done. A lot of the weapons are needed for more than one trophy. For instance, you have to use the machete as a melee weapon, but you also have to use it in an execution for a ground kill. Also, you have to use the dart as a throwing weapon, but you also have to use it in an execution as a ground kill. So in the checklist, every weapon is alphabetized, and all of the ones that you can use for a ground kill are on there twice, specifying ground kill, so you can check off exactly how you used it. Now the important thing to mention is that if you use a weapon and then die before reaching a checkpoint, the game will not save the fact that you used it. So you should only check off a weapon when you are sure that you just used it and then completed a stage. I recommend saving the weapons you want to use for the last enemy in a stage so that you know you got that usage. Now for these trophies, you have to have unlocked all the weapons, completed the game, and have the Carl the Grasshopper and Richter the Rat masks. Now there are only 9 weapons that do not spawn that you can miss, so I'm going to describe how to get those first, and then I will describe how to easily get all of the weapons that spawn randomly. So the first 2 weapons that don't spawn are the drill, which you have to equip the Carl the Grasshopper mask for. You want to get an execution with this weapon, and you want to use it as a melee weapon. You cannot kill anyone by hitting them with it, but you still want that to count as a melee weapon. And so the other one that's mask related is the Richter the Rat mask, which is the silenced Uzi. Not 100% sure if that counts for the gun trophies, but go ahead and use it. Shoot somebody. I'm doing both of these on the prelude. Like I said, you always want to make sure that you completely finish the chapter before for it to save and for it to count. So now we're going to move on to chapter 2. There are 2 weapons located on here. Cleared the first floor, you want to go up the left hand side and go pick up this pot of boiling water right here. And by using it as a melee weapon, you sling the water out. That's a one-time use, and then you can actually use it as a melee weapon with the empty pot. So I did that. Now you want to back up, completely finish the level, start the level over again, and now use it as an execution ground kill. Once again, using it as a pot full of water. You notice I poured the water on the guy, and now I'm going to smash this guy's face in with the pot also. So that counts as 2 different weapons, a pot with water and a pot without water. Now you want to move on to chapter 13, which is the only place where you can use a baton, which is the nightstick or the billy club, depending on what you want to call it. And notice I just got an execution with that baton, and I use it as a melee weapon. Once again, make sure you completely finish the chapter for it to save. And now we're going to move on to chapter 5. There are 4 weapons in chapter 5 that are not located anywhere else, and we're actually going to stay in chapter 5 for the rest of everything. So one of the weapons that is located on chapter 5 is the pool stick. That actually is located in another place, but we're just going to get them all in chapter 5. So I'm getting an execution ground kill with the pool stick right there, and it broke. And so now it's a broken pool cue, which counts as a different weapon. So you want to get a melee use with the pool cue and an execution with it. Notice I did not get a melee use with it just now, but I did get an execution. So be careful what you check off on your checklist. And now that it's broken, you need to get a melee use and an execution with the broken pool cue. So here's an execution with that, so I would check off the execution for myself for the pool cue and the broken pool cue. Now that counts as 2 different weapons once again. And the third weapon that's on chapter 5 is this red crowbar that's right here. This is the only place that it's located, and I'm going to take it upstairs, and I'm getting a melee use with it right there. I still need to get a execution with it also. Now the fourth weapon that does not spawn is located on the second floor of chapter 5. It's this frying pan right here. Once again, you need to use that as a melee weapon and as an execution. I'm only going to get an execution with it right here, and this wraps up all of the weapons. Remember that if a guy is sitting down and you execute him, it will not use the weapon. He needs to be lying down like that. So I'm going to smash his face in with that. And now that we've done that, watch this. This is how to get all of the weapon spawns. Notice that dart right there and the gun that's right there. Those are 2 weapon spawn locations. This is chapter 5. And walk over here, notice those pair of scissors right there and that lead pipe. Alright? Those 4 locations will spawn all of the rest of the weapons randomly. Every time you start, it'll be something different. Now it's a sledgehammer and a ninja star. Let's see what's on the other side. Looks like it's going to be a ninja star and a double barrel shotgun. And if you don't like what weapons are there, you can just run in and die, and it will be something different each time. So you can just keep replaying this chapter. Like I said, with all of these weapons, make sure that when you use them or kill someone with them, whatever the case may be, that you reach a checkpoint without dying. If you die before reaching a checkpoint, the game will not save the fact that you used them. And upstairs there are 3 more weapon spawns. Check out that right there. There's a dart, there's some gun, and there's a hammer. And those 3 weapon spawns are also different and randomized. Now I'm not going to record myself using every single weapon in the whole game, because that would just make for an incredibly long video, and this video has been long enough as it is. But hopefully I've kept it brief and informative enough that I hope that made sense. And with the checklist, you should be able to check off every single weapon. Obviously I've already gotten the 4 trophies myself, and like I said, just make sure that once you use them, you don't check it off unless you complete that particular checkpoint, and that way the game will save the fact that you used it. So the only thing I need for the always on top trophy at this point is the ground execution kill with the red crowbar. So I'm going to get that right here, and the trophy's going to pop, and I'm going to leave you with that. I really hope that's been helpful. There are more notes on that link in the description, also to the checklist. So I hope that hasn't, been completely off the wall. Hope it made sense. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll check you out later.